Hello everyone and welcome back to Dr. C2000. Today we've got a special exciting treat for you. Today we have two guest speakers, Joseph and Sammy. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey,
Now, gentlemen, before we begin, I just want to make this clear to you. The stature the according to the law in Illinois, Comp Stat Statute 5/14-1 Negative 2 was unconstitutional on its face. The statute made it a crime to use eavesdropping device to overhear or record a phone call or conversation without the consent of all parties to the conversation, regardless of whether party had an expectation of privacy. Do you gentlemen accept that this conversation is being recorded for the use of entertainment purposes only?
definitely.
Yeah, this is great. I accept.
Alrighty then, gentlemen. Let's begin. So what shall we talk about?
I think we should touch on the topic of I guess we should just kind of break the ice of who we are and what we do. Just so the people get a little bit of a background.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess I'll begin. My name's Joseph. Obviously, I go to Jacobs and stuff like that. I want to become cardiologist when I grow older. So school is incredibly important. What about you, Sammy?
Yeah, I'm Sammy. I also go to Jacobs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, when I grow up, I actually want to be some kind of surgeon. I don't know what yet, but yeah.
Well, that's well, and of course everyone knows who I am. No need for introduction here. I'm the guy who went up on stage and got the whole crowd rumbling. But my name's Matthew, and I either want to be. I mean, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but if I had to, I'd either say a singer, somehow famous or popular, maybe a news agent, news anchor, some reporting, getting into the dirt of everything, just finding out the truth for people.
It's good. Journalism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I also go to. Yes, I mean, from the many videos I've had, I do go to Jacob. When I did the part 1 and part 2 of my review on Harry D. Jacobs, it was. You guys know how I all went there, but yeah, that's very good.
I didn't catch that one. What did you talk about? How did you feel about it?
Well, basically, I just read all the negative review, because that's what the least is touched on, the negativity towards Jacobs, because the way, because me and a friend of mine were talking, and he said to me that the school is mostly focused on keeping up appearances, and the more the money goes into more money goes into the football team and the painting aspect of everything. It's I feel that there's a saying that I read on one of the reviews that said if you don't go along with Jacobs's program, you're kind of screwed for help. And I actually kind of feel that way because when when I when I first confronted the administration staff about having me go up on stage, they said that no one would listen to me. And when I walked up on stage when we were doing the protest for the ones who lost their lives at what was the name of that school in Florida?
Uh, Parkland. It was
The
Yeah,
Parkland shooting.
Parkland.
yeah.
When those who lost their lives, everyone was crowding and everyone in the crowd was cheering for me and showing that I have a voice and that I have a speak. And the assistant principal even said to me that what you did took guts, and he thanked me for it. And another teacher of mine said, "Well, I don't know." A teacher told me that what I did was what we were supposed to be doing in the first place, expressing how this impacted us. And I agree. And gentlemen, mind if what I want to ask you is, do you feel that we made a difference by standing behind blue tape and 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 being and standing in memorial of those who lost their lives? And do you feel that we made an impact to anything at all, or do you feel that it would have been a greater impact to go out, to stand outside and to stand as one, to be stronger?
Okay. So about the blue tape thing, right? I do like how we still recognize that we should do something. Like how like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like we didn't do it's not like we did nothing. We still got together and stood on the blue tape and held hands.
Yes, and I know that, yes, I know, like, again, it was nice that they did something, but I feel like as a message it wasn't strong enough to say that this is, enough is enough, because I'm just going to say this, and this was actually this has been something, this was in a long thing to a long time ago that has still been going on at this school, but I don't want this to sound too dark, but until it happens to us, then nothing will change. Because that, it can be a million miles away, like uh like let me, Columbine, the school in Texas, Florida, look at how many things have had to happen for this to become huge. It took three events. You know, why didn't we start at Columbine? Why didn't we do this at the beginning when Columbine happened? Or why didn't we do this when Texas happened? I said this ago. What made Florida the 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 connection to stand up and to say enough is enough? Someone told me that it was like the worst one of them all, and I thought that just can't be true. And they say, yeah, well, like, see, what these adults don't understand or realize is that we're the ones walking into school. We're the ones risking our lives every single day to gain an education. Is it just that we have to be scared to? Is it we have to be scared to worry about coming to school every day? Like, what do you gentlemen think?
I think it's a big concern, definitely. And when it comes to the protests, even though we didn't really go outside, um, we did create one of the largest student protests in the history of the U.S., which I think is pretty significant. And I mean, even though we were inside and we didn't really contribute much, we still had a big impact. And after that, some people, as in like actual authorities, um, they decided to make bans on certain things or modifications on guns right after. So I don't think that what we did was for nothing. I do think that we did have quite an impact, but I'm trying to avoid political stuff because people nowadays are like incredibly sensitive. So
Or you could just make it political, Joe.
yeah,
Keep going.
yeah. Let me just trigger everyone real quick before I go on the next topic. But I mean, as I said, I really do think we did make a difference in terms of having our voice heard.
Um, yeah, and I know that we should move on. I know that this is a topic that has been hashed out a long time ago, but I want your guys' honest opinion, to say the least, of what you guys thought of me when I walked up on stage, because it was kind of a pretty mixed review. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people hated me for it. Some people said that I was rude to those who lost their lives. To me, I thought I was voicing my opinion, which, come on, that's the First Amendment. for us. I mean, even though we have no political or we have no amendment rights at Jacobs. I mean, come on. If we did, the that day would have been taken care of because the Second Amendment. I think what there's an amendment. I think it's the first. I think the Second Amendment is gun control, but the First Amendment is right to peaceful assembly.
Mm-hmm.
We have that right as Americans, and I think that the school took what I believe is my amendment, my right to peacefully assemble. But I want to come back to say that I think that the administrative staff at Jacobs was wrong for telling me that no one would listen, and they actually thought I was saying that they actually conceived it as me forcing people to come to the auditorium. When in actuality, all I said was, hey, do you think maybe if we made an announcement on the morning announcements to say, hey, if you want to hear Chacho in the auditorium during his hour lunch, would come on down. He'd take topics from it. I would really much appreciate if we could do that before the end of this school year, or maybe even into the beginning of the next one, then I would be pretty happy. I mean, it's something big, it's an accomplishment, but I mean, not from now. I'm just gonna have to wait for the next moment to present myself and to present itself. And I feel that these podcasts are my only way out to speak to the world. To speak to you guys and to say, hey, this is what's going on. This is the kind of crap that I'm putting up with.
All right. So, Chacho, going all the way back to when you asked how we felt about you going up on stage.
What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch. Can you start over? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
All right. So going all the way back to the beginning, to when you said how we felt about you going up on stage on that day. To be honest, I was actually like one of the first to chant your name because I actually saw you stand up. So I just want to say that. And
Thank
going
you,
up
Sammy.
on stage, yeah, you going up on stage actually made me so ecstatic. You don't even know. I was so pumped. I was so happy to see you on that stage. The people before you
I know that's
on the stage actually like
they got booed off, and the
yeah,
reason
they're
I
so
stood up.
bad. So yeah, okay.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but the reason I stood up was because I wanted to thank Ashton for what he did. Because I mean, he was, yes, I know it could. I feel that and what he told me after the fact, a few days later, I actually agreed with him. God forbid my cursed memory remember what he said, but what I got from the feeling I remember was what he said was actually what I was trying to get to. I think that we should have sat and heard Ashton because what he had to say was pretty, was pretty good, and I didn't know I could make that much of an impact to you guys, and that's what I wanted to show them. I wanted to show them, hey, people would be willing to listen. People would be willing. I wouldn't have to force. If sometime next week, if they were to do such a thing, I bet you I could fill about maybe okay, like how the auditorium is. It's like the one they've got like two big things in the front, and then in the back they got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I bet you I could fill it maybe towards the center, towards the front of the towards the front of the stage. I feel that I could get maybe 1.5 of those seats filled up, if that were a possibility. But knowing Jacobs, it probably will never happen. I mean, and if anybody important, like if anybody has any connections to Jacobs or Fred Hides, if you're listening, hey, nudge it along. Hey, let the people at Jacobs know that they'd be willing to listen. It's just that the administrators wouldn't think so, and when it's just that. But I would like to hear from. I know I've been hogging this conversation the entire time, but I would like to hear you guys.
Sammy.
Joe, ladies first.
Oh, don't mind if I do. I feel like, oh, ooh. That's we're off to a good start. I feel like, I mean, what you did up there was pretty courageous. Like, it took guts, definitely. Um, to, go up there and speak out what you wanted to, what was on your mind. So, props to you for expressing yourself. I think that was good. Plus, I think you were the only one that actually got the crowd riled up and all excited to see you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's even better. And in terms of like reaching out to other people, obviously it starts small, but as it goes up or as time continues, the numbers will grow.
Yes,
So
and I have seen that.
that's good. So I mean, definitely, like if you tried to rally people up, to go to a certain designated area, I think it could work out. Because
Well,
I mean,
how would you suggest we go about that?
well, it depends on the type of topic you want to discuss. Um, so like if you wanted to talk about you know the whole controversial topic, I mean definitely go for it. But it could be definitely a little bit hectic at first.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of organization and pre-planning and all this stuff would have to take place. But I think it's definitely possible because like a lot of people know who you are. Your name is definitely out there in school. So like you could
Really,
it'd
how
be easy.
like I know that I'm a pretty and I actually had a dream, like not a dream, but like a feeling about this, like walking into school one day and having people shake my hand, just walking in there feeling that sense of fame and popularity, which is my ultimate end goal to achieve because I just I had aspirations of becoming president, and I thought to myself, nah, too much political correctness for me, and not enough not enough doing the job. But if I become famous, then I might gain a little more to the people's mind. I mean, look at how um, what was it? Like, look at how people look at Kylie, or not Kylie. Who was it that had a baby recently?
I think it was Kylie.
Yeah, that was Kylie. Yeah.
Alrighty. Hold on, gentlemen. I'll be right back for a minute.
That's fine.
Wait, I thought Kylie was the one who went through the change.
What do you mean by change?
He to she.
Oh,
That was
Caitlyn.
Bruce.
Oh,
Bruce.
oh my.
It was Bruce.
For any Kardashian fans, I am so sorry. I just haven't been keeping up on popular events. I mean, we all knew about that, but like, look at how many people like were talking about that as something. Some people hated it, some people loved it, some people didn't know what to do. It's like very and when I do become popular and famous and popular, I won't let the fame and popularity go to my head. I will still stay truthful. I will still stay honest, and I will still stay equal to all my friends. Heck, I'll even give, for those that supported me over the years, I'll even give a cut back to you guys to say thanks. And by I mean cut, I mean a pretty big cut.
It's thoughtful. It's pretty good.
Hey,
I think that's
I
it's a
mean,
good bit of reward to people that have stuck by your side for quite a while.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Like,
because have you guys have seen it, like like in the movies, like the guy who's the underdog and he becomes the head honcho. Like, tell me you guys have seen a movie like that before, right?
yeah,
Yes, I have.
it's pretty much every movie.
Yeah, you know these actors and actresses and these people aspire in these films to make the reasoning point. If you're if you're doing it, then you can achieve greatness. But in reality, it's kind of like it's hard to do it. I mean, look at me. In the beginning, I was off to maybe nothing, and look where I am now. I mean, a lot of people may say what I do is a little weird. I mean, if you take a look at my Instagram thing and look at how many it I know I follow a lot of people, but look at how many people follow me back. And if I keep doing it over a certain amount of time, it may come to equal out. And I mean, that's about it for me. But I want you guys to what do you guys say? Like, what are you guys thinking right now? Like, I just don't want this whole thing to be about me.
Well,
What do you guys have to say?
Okay, wait. What do you want us to think about?
Like anything. Like, what do you guys have to say? I mean, come on, you guys are like, yeah, come on, like, what do you guys? You guys have anything to say? I mean, like, you guys have anything to think about? Like, think. What would you want to say? To like, what would you want to get out there? What are your ambitions? What do you want people to know?
What is the realm that you want to talk about? Like anything?
I don't care.
All right, let's talk about the teachers with guns thing.
Ooh. Yeah. Hey, you mouth off in class, you get pistol whipped.
Oh boy.
You get a bad grade. You get a bad grade. It ain't gonna be down in the principal's office. It'd be bust that cap in your ass.
Oh
no! Wait, that's what the parents. You're getting pistol whipped by the teachers, but you get an ass cap. You get an ass cap if you get bad grade with your parents.
Yeah, I mean, if a teacher pistol whipped you, I mean that's screaming a lawsuit. Oh boy, that teacher would lose her job. Like,
yeah, I know. We're all just kidding around here.
Yeah.
Teachers with guns. Well,
Is it good idea or bad? That's what I wanted. Like first answer from you. Good idea or bad idea?
does it have to be one of those two options?
Yes. There's no in between for this one.
Oh.
I want a straight answer.
On the one hand, you have increased. We have safety, and on the other hand, you have one teacher who's not. You say you have a teacher who isn't really stable, or no, not even the teacher, the student. One of them bad students finds the gun, or somehow manages to get access to it. I mean, in theory, it is a good. To me, in theory, it is a good idea. But I'd have to say no, and my rebuttal to that is. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still listening.
All right, good, because my screen just popped up with poor network connection.
Oh, what?
No, you're good.
All right.
Yeah, you're fine.
Anywho. What was I going to say? My rebuttal to that is the schools need to start, instead of investing in like what we've done, like the football team, the gym floor, the new light fixtures in the gym. There was nothing wrong with the lights that we had. Why? We need to start investing in more safety devices for the classroom itself. They actually had it. My grandmother was actually talking about something to where there was a thing you put on the door, and when the person grabs the handle, it shocks the living bejesus out of them. Or this thing, it looks like a cowbell. You put it, like, how when you open the classroom door, you got that big, I don't know not the hinge, but the thing above the hinge, and it looks like an arm bending out.
Yeah.
It looks like a cowbell, and you put that thing over it, and the door won't release. Or like door locks are more like what you call it. like shielding. You know, like it could be like a door protector, like those things that they've got. You know, like more protection in the classroom instead of it being just a weapon. You know, and also safety tip for all you guys. You know, if this does happen, throw shit at him. Throw shit at the guy. You know, if you got a crazed psychopath lunatic, just throw it at guy. Jump on him. You know, throw your textbook, throw your Chromebook,
I'll aim
throw
for
your
his,
chair.
Yeah, just
I'll
give him a good
tell-
hit in the shin.
Yeah, get him in the poke him in the eye, get him in the balls, knock him down, confuse him. I mean, hell, who says we need guns when I can take my $50 take the batteries out, take my $50 calculator, whack it with the guy, then start throwing the batteries. You know, take my book bag, boom, there you go, boom, there you go.
Yeah, but like, okay, this all jumps to the fight or flight response.
Oh yeah.
In that kind of situation, when you're like not expecting anything and you're exposed, and you're jumped like that, like a gunshot, of course they're gonna fucking run away and be like,
Oh yeah. Of course people are gonna run away. Of course. Um. But no, for the if we did get warning, or if we did somehow get saying there's someone in the school, the first line of defense is that stuff is like the door lock, the thing, the electric thing. That's what needs to be put out. There needs to be like a thing. You touch the door handle, you get the like in Home Alone, like the one guy. He held on the door handle. He's like, and he's got a thing burned in his hand. That's the first line of defense. The second line is have everybody grab something: chair, desk, stapler, book. Something on the TV. Like I know this one teacher. He's got a glass book, not a glass, or a paperweight. You throw that at, I bet you throw that at someone, it'd knock their ass down like that. First line, they make sure that they can't get in to the room itself. And if that fails, just take things and start throwing. There is no limit to what is in the classroom that you could throw. Like in the English class, like in my English class, there's books, there's a DVD player, there's there's a bunch of stuff we could throw. And even in the chemistry lab, the chemicals, the glass, the Bunsen burners, the beakers. Make a flamethrower for Christ's sake. Try and get. If you can protect yourself, do it. Take a ruler, take a pencil, or no, take a ruler. And somehow sharpen it. Take a pair of scissors and, knock the guy out. Instead of trying to figure out how to get, instead of screaming. And when's the last time we've had a drill?
It's been
fat
a
while ago. Fat while ago, yeah.
Oh, and was it the one where it was really cold and and they were blaming it on a science teacher?
Yeah, I think there was actually a mini fire that went off.
Yeah, that was actually my science class.
Oh.
Sorry.
You mind telling?
I don't remember what it was we were doing, but we were lighting something. We had something over the Bunsen burners. It wasn't fire. It was just smoke. My teacher forgot to turn on the fume hood, and the smoke collected in the room. And was it? It wasn't. I don't know what it was we were burning, but it made a real bright spark.
Magnesium.
Yes, we were burning magnesium, and that's what was causing. That's what caused the smoke, and that's what That's what set off the alarm. It wasn't a fire; it was smoke, and everybody was blaming the one teacher in there. Like I was like, no, we were it was us. It was our class. Trying to, but I didn't do it. but I just want to say, I didn't do it because I was actually one getting, hey, get the goggles on. I don't want to lose an eye in science class. I like my eyes. I like my dainty blue eyes. um, you know, but to get back, when's the last time we had a drill of any kind? Tornado, fire, lockdown, what is the one? Stay indoor? No,
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Of shelter in place.
shelter in place. Yep.
Yeah.
I think um, I think we did have a code red lockdown as a drill. Um, I think it was shortly after the um, the little incident in the chemistry class, or yeah, probably was a chemistry class.
Oh yes,
Shortly after, but
yes.
I
I
think that
remember
was
we had the code red lockdown. Again, we were in first period, and we went into the little storage area where they keep everything. Because I remember, maybe it was when I was talking about, I don't know, but um, you know, well, right now you guys can't see this, but the folks at home definitely can see this. Right now, I'm just checking to make sure we're still recording, and yet we've been recording for about 31. No, wait, we've only been talking for about 31 seconds, or no, 31 minutes.
Yes, that's minutes.
yeah.
Oh God, I almost thought we were talking for 31. No, it can't be 31 seconds, can it? And yeah, I'm recording with OBS software. Let's hope it
That's
doesn't. Let's
cool.
hope it doesn't become a big failure. But yeah, we've been recording for about 31 minutes.
It's cool.
It's good.
But but yeah, when's the last time we had a drill? I want to, yeah. But as far as the teacher was gonna think though, I have to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't feel that there's much of a need. I feel with the safer, cheaper, why waste money on trying to train teachers how to use a gun? Teach them how to put in a safety device. There are so many out there. There was a website I looked up, and they said, and there was like all these cool safety devices for on the cheap. Shit you not, for on the cheap. It was so cheap. And I feel with those two security measures in place, I feel like we could be prepared to kick somebody's ass. That's just me. But anything else?
I mean, I'd like to put my little opinion on that.
Go ahead.
I think I'd say no as well to that because, like, I mean, even though there could be some like, I guess great aspects to it, I just feel like the drawbacks are just a lot more than the actual positive sides when it comes to that. And I mean, like, guns in school, it does kind
Yeah.
of it does kind of seem a little bit counterintuitive, definitely. But I mean, like instead of investing in actual guns, this is oh boy, I'm gonna sound like a crackhead here. Why don't you just like train the teachers to actually know some self-defense moves?
Oh, even better.
Yeah, just make him like a mini Bruce Lee. Just
Or heck, why not incorporate self-defense into gym?
that'd be pretty cool.
Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah, like
Incorporate
instead of the tumbling
self-defense
lesson.
into gym.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that hard, Teach a I. Oh my god. I should have started this years ago, having group discussions. I have to ask, even though even though Lord only knows what's gonna happen. But do you guys think this will increase the amount of like? Do you guys think this will increase anything?
What do you mean by increase? Like,
What do you mean by this?
Do you like the? Because you know how most of my videos have been just me talking and that being it. incorporating more people into the thing, do you think that it'll boost up at least either like a subscriber count or maybe I don't know, what do I say? Not subscriber, but like a view time,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you have guest speakers, they could possibly have connections, or they might know like a certain group of people that have the same interests as you do. And so, I mean, just bringing out guest speakers is, in general, just I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, it's people that want to participate with you. It's because they're interested too, and I mean, they'll bring it up about their like, they'll talk to their friends about and stuff. And I think it'll definitely, spread your name out a little bit more.
I think
So
that'll be good too.
yeah.
I've also increased my advertising around, and Sam actually knows about this one, for
Oh,
teachers.
your sheets of paper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't done anything outside. I haven't. I haven't done anything outside the classrooms, but there are a few, and I've actually had one teacher put. Yeah, Sammy knows about the gym teacher we have. I asked him, hey, can I put this on your cart? And he said, yeah, just buy me a cup of coffee. And I don't take offense. I don't take offense to that. It wasn't too bad on me. It wasn't too much of a hassle for me. It was just okay, buy a cup of coffee, and that's all he asked. And I think there was kind of a bet to it. I think the gym teacher had a bet, like, to see how many kids could buy him a cup of coffee, because I remember him mention, or one of his friends mentioning something about it. He's like, "Are you trying to hold a bet to see how many kids can buy a cup of coffee?" Like, I view this man as a respected man, or a respected friend. I trust him. He's never screwed me over, unlike some teachers. He's never given me a bad. He's always been super nice. I just want to say that. A lot of teachers have been really nice. The one teacher who said she's been really nice. A lot of people have been very nice. There are still there are very, I hate to say this, but there are some teachers in there that just don't, they don't understand. It's like, remember how I told you guys that some people viewed me as what I did was good, other people viewed me as what I did bad.
Hmm.
Yeah.
In the one video, and I don't remember which one I talked. I think this was my room 2003, the room speech, the room review I did, and I think that even before I got to the review, I made a little. Yeah, it was in that one. I made reference to this teacher telling me that, like, I asked, "Hey, did you hear about me?" And she said, "If you're only gonna come in here and talk about guns, then just get out." And I said, "Whoa, that is not what I talked about at all." I said, or not, or no, it wasn't guns. It was like murder. If she said, "If you're only gonna come in here and talk about murder and shit like that," she didn't actually say shit. But if you're gonna talk about murder, then just get out. And I'm like, whoa, where the hell did that, where the hell did that come from? I mean, I didn't even. I talked about murder for what, maybe a second.
Yeah, it was like one of your points that you were
One
talking
of my
about.
one of my points is like, hello, where the hell is this coming from? And probably one of her friends was, she probably got misinformed. Why don't people ever take into account the saying, wait, like, it is either count your chickens before they hatch, or something of some other matter. But why, whoa, before you stick me to the post and only accuse me of talking of murder, why don't you hear me out first? And I gave her the little,
Hmm.
I'm like, okay. And I said, what, I'm just gonna leave. I'm like, okay, bye.
It's a smart thing to do. I mean, like,
Be the bigger person.
judging off of that, it looks like it was taken out of context.
Very
Um,
true.
so that's also a problem, with like, podcasts. Like, oh man, people could
No, this
just
wasn't on
easily.
a podcast. This was when I got up on stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me for misinterpreting
No,
that, but
no, no, no. Don't ever,
um,
don't ever be sorry. Don't ever be sorry that we are human. We make mistakes. But when you lose your common sense, that's when I get a little pissed. But like, I'm not saying you lost your common. Don't ever don't ever apologize for a thing.
yeah, no offense taken, man. Don't worry about it.
But you were saying,
Yeah, just it looks like it was taken out of context, as I said. I mean, that's definitely going to be a lot of people when it comes to certain topics,
yes,
because they'll want to prove a certain point, and they'll eventually, just lie just so they can get a point across, which is
oh,
stupid.
I have met another one. I've met another adult that, I don't understand why some of these adults act as if they have, what they say goes. But a lot of these teachers act like they have a little, they act like they're a little too much in charge. They act like we're children and not. A teacher actually told me this. We need to be treated like adults, but yet we need to be treated like adults, but yet but not push us over too far that we screw up royally.
Right. I mean, I kind of like that, like how they, well, not that they have too much, or they act like they have too much power. That's definitely a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could just be repeated exposure of, like, because there's always that group of students that are just pretty much assholes and just kind of like
Yes,
dick off in class, and I can understand how it makes the teacher a little bit mad, and
and
I
I
mean
and
that.
I understand it. I understand. It's hard. I think it's getting harder for these teachers to handle the situation. Adding to the fact with the technology in the classroom. I mean, I think that's what actually got me started on this whole popular pot. I think this is what actually started me off. When a long time ago, and I don't know if either of you two have heard of Sammy. Have you remember when I was going for the phone, like the phones in the classroom thing?
uh,
Mm,
what do you mean? Like,
I was going
elaborate.
from class to class about the phones and respect, the just usual things.
no, I cannot recall.
No,
No.
I'm not following.
Well, anywho, I went. What I think this was maybe freshman year, a few years back. I was going from class to class, and I was giving a little speech, saying, "Hey, it's time to stop. We need to start giving these teachers a little more respect." And a lot of people called me out for being a hypocrite and saying I use my phone in the classroom. But here's the thing: I don't fuck around. I do my work. Sure, I may use my phone. I may, you know, at least I'm not being told 5 or 6 times to get the fuck off the phone by the teacher. Wasting class, being told by the teacher to get off the phone. I'm not causing that problem.
Hmm.
It's like, why the hell are you calling me out to be a fucking hypocrite when you're the one dicking around wasting class time? And I don't know if I could ever go out and do that again. Go from class to class and make a little speech because of because of what has happened in my line with the hell, I'll just say it, with the whole vaping issue. And for anyone watching, and for the both of you guys, I just want to make my point on this clear. If you do any sort of narcotic, whatever it may be, I don't have a problem with that. Smoke to your heart's content. Vape to your heart's content. Drink to your heart's content. Do whatever. I just don't want that to be in my body or to be around me, affecting me. I just ask that they don't do it at school. And I actually kind of say this to a point. of helping you guys. Hey, if you don't do it, you have less likely a chance to get in trouble, and less likely a chance to get in trouble with your parent. Having to go through that whole rigmarole. Less likely chance to go to jail, or less likely a chance to go to court. You know, I would never rat on anybody. I would never say that. I would never rat. I would never squeal. I would never snitch. Because I hate these people. Because I sometimes hate these administrative people just as much as everyone else does. Because they keep fucking us over. They blocked Bing. Like, I remember, even before we started recording, we talked about the school blocking Bing. How the hell are we supposed to get our projects done before, when these teachers have you guys had a project to where these teachers asked you to pull up a video or to put it in the presentation?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, many times actually.
Yeah. And what have we been reduced to? We've been reduced to shady websites. We've been reduced to trying to figure out how the hell to get around securely, which is shit, by the way, and I hate it. And they overdo it. There's actually a problem with over blocking. You know, like I understand. Yes, this is school, not fuck around time. And I mean, who the hell would be stupid enough to look up porn on their Chromebook? Who the hell would be stupid enough to do that?
Some
Oh,
people have actually.
you have no idea how many intellectuals there are in this school, buddy. Oh, like, but I kind of want to touch on that little topic of vaping. I mean, or just doing things in general that I guess kind of are taboo in a sense.
Yes,
I mean, right? Do what you want, you know.
yes, I completely
I'm
agree.
I'm totally, I'm not gonna like force you to stop or whatever, because it's your
Neither
body.
would I. Neither would I.
But
I'm just saying,
uh,
just don't do it around me, please.
yeah, because you don't want to be associated in case if you get in trouble. Because a friend of mine actually got screwed over like that. Just because he was with that person that got caught, he was an
Bam,
associate.
right there,
So,
right
and
there.
I mean,
That's the
like,
case I'm trying to make to these people. You're not just fucking up your life. You're screwing up everybody else's life too. You know, I got in the car. I'm so sorry for interrupting. I'm so sorry for
no, it's
interrupting,
fine.
but I got in the car once with my father, and he said, "What the hell is that smell?" He smells my jacket, and he says, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And it turns out I smell my jacket, and you'll never. Guys, give me your guess. What the hell you think was on my jacket?
New cologne.
Weed particles.
Sammy is actually, I don't know, like well, the vape, the
Uh,
vaping particles.
oh,
When
Well,
they,
okay, so like,
it's like
easy way to go.
blueberry,
It,
like
yeah.
pomegranate.
oh
So
god, a teacher
there's
of mine actually thought it was going on in his classroom. And I'm like, no shit. They do it in the locker room. They do it in the bathroom. They do it in the fucking hallway. Of course.
the numbers have definitely increased in terms of people who vape.
Well,
Like, I'll go to the bathroom.
oh my
Oh
god.
boy, just people having a lovely time in the stalls, shitting out something that smells like strawberries. So,
Oh yeah.
so it feels good, man. It feels good about that. Just it's kind of sad almost because
oh,
like people, how it works is, well, I know a lot about this because like a lot of my friends do it. So, um, they vape with something which is nicotine just to feel something like what they call a buzz, and
yeah,
it's temporary, so it lasts like it could be like a couple seconds to a couple minutes,
yes,
and that's solely what most people do in this school. They want to feel this little buzz or whatever,
yes.
and in a way it's
And
kind of it's screwing them over because well it's nicotine and it's something you really haven't been um,
and
you
they
know
say and they say, "Oh, there's no nicotine in these little things," or you know, I actually have proof of, and this isn't even just about the nicotine. This is about the fact that these little things are exploding. There was a video of of a kid from Texas who got half his face blown up, and he wasn't even the one with the vape. Thing exploded, boom, took half his face out. Kid looks like a mummy. I bet you the kid's fine now, but What that's what. And then like in the beginning of this episode, remember when I was saying like nothing will get done until it happens to us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing will get done until one of those little fuckers explode in the classroom, and then I march my little ass down to the office and I say, "Guess what the fuck happened? A vape exploded." You know, I want you to fucking I want you and me to get up on the stage and I want you to fucking apologize to me. To say you're sorry in front of God and everybody. To say that we were wrong and I was right. Because it's only gonna be a matter of time until that happens.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think it was the brand was what was that?
Blue
It was
Jewel.
no, what are the basic ones? It's not Jewel. It's geez, I can't think of
Yeah,
it.
we're so educated on vapes.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know the brands, but like going
Trust.
back to what I was
What else is it called?
talking about, like how the whole nicotine ordeal. Originally, vapes were created to, help people,
Wean off of
stop
smoking.
smoking. Right, and that's where the levels of nicotine come into play. I don't know exactly how high it goes, but there are certain different levels of it in which, oh, I just remember the name. It's Fix. The Fix is
Oh
one.
yes.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait.
Me,
Like
man,
Yeah.
but
like the vapor rub.
no, 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 no. Like Fix, like the name of the brand was Fix.
Oh,
Those were the
Fix. I thought you
original
said
ones.
Vicks.
Oh no, no. But
Like oh
going back
shit.
to
Like I know Vicks has made the air humidifiers, but not this.
but going back to what I was saying, you know, people are like, oh yeah, I vape because it helps me relax. Well, first of all, you're lying to yourself because first of all, you've become so addicted to a point where once you feel that sensation or you receive that like nicotine, that's when you feel relaxed because you've been so tense because you've been building up an addiction towards it. So when people say, "Oh yeah, it helps me feel relaxed," it's false. You've already become addicted, and a lot of people are becoming addicted. It gets pretty bad. It definitely gets bad. A friend of mine was so addicted to the point where they actually drank the juice of that pod.
Oh no.
And nicotine's poisonous, so you could get nicotine poisoning easily from that. Because it's meant to be well, inhaled, I guess, rather than actually consumed.
Well, that's
So
nothing new. I mean, let's see. Our generation's the sons of bitches who ate laundry detergent. I mean, God forbid. Now we're snorting condoms.
my God.
Our generation, our generation is snorting condoms. Can we just get a round of applause, please? Please, everybody, just start clapping.
That's
Thank
us progressively evolving. Oh
yes,
boy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
intellectuals.
We're the ones that are gonna change the world. No, we're gonna be the fucking burning it to a crisp.
That's what
And
scares me. Sorry, but that's kind of what scares me. It's because you're
me
around
too.
these people and you're growing up. You're in high school. This is kind of like peak where like we begin to really develop into the people that will become in life. Um, and just seeing a lot of all this horrific stuff going on and stuff that's just worrying in general. Um, well, I mean, you have to think about it, right? So if a high school has like this amount of kids vaping and drinking and smoking weed and all this stuff, um, it just kind of like represents high school students as a whole because it's definitely become a lot more common now, and this is the future that will that this is the generation of kids that the future will be waiting upon, and
Unfortunately.
a lot
Oh
of
my
them are
god. Yeah,
not ready.
you guys don't have to believe. Like what I fear the most is like I said this to my girlfriend. These are the people that we'll be growing up with. These are the people that will be going to these fast food joints or to our stores or to our. These are the people that will be running the world. And then they're at this time they're snorting condoms and drinking and eating Tide Pods and vape, putting shit in their body fit. I it's a scary thought, and everybody's saying, "Oh, we'll go to Mars." I'm like, whoa, 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 hold on there, Science Joe. Well, that's one of the things that keep me up at night. Just this is the world we're living in now. God Almighty. I just I'm afraid. I'm afraid for this generation. I'm afraid for my life. I mean, hell, even doing this right now, I'm afraid for my life to the point of it just being something just of a nuisance. I mean, no one would be stupid enough to like. I mean, no one would be. I don't think anyone would hunt me down and gut me like a fish. But some people have been upset with me about some of the topics I've covered. But to just say that, it's been I've I don't fear what's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't let it bother me, but I just hope that I hope that a message is getting out to someone to pass on a little, to show to show these adults that there are teenagers like me, you, Sammy, and a hell of a lot of others that are willing to fix it but can't because stupid people because of stupid teenagers that keep screwing it over for us. And I hope that ends soon, because if it doesn't, we can kiss this planet goodbye.
I mean, at this point, we could just call it natural selection in high school,
Oh,
because,
the,
oh man,
the whole Tide Pod thing, that was natural selection too.
yeah, it definitely was. I mean, people found it funny, but it was incredibly, um, yeah, you risked your life, to get a good laugh out of someone. That's definitely not the way to go.
No.
And I wanted to like compliment you on that mentality that you have about this podcast. That you know, I mean, because like that you don't care about like if people hate you or not or whatever, because I mean everyone is entitled to their own opinion,
Yes, and
um,
I believe that. And there's actually a saying to this. My grandfather told me this. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. And that can be taken out of context, but like I know everyone has a right to their opinion, but I think it should be viewed as the majority. Like we should treat this as a vote. The major, the say, like I know for for religion to me, I think that's kind of what is causing all this war and all this hate and all this. I think that's what is causing all this because isn't that what started? And tell me if I'm wrong, John. Isn't that what started the attacks on us from the September 11th? I mean, wasn't that kind of the religion the mentality was the religion that if these people committed suicide, that they would be rewarded in their life after their in their death. When they died, they would be rewarded. You know, and even going back as World War II, we were just learning about this. The Japanese army they were told that when they died, these kamikaze pilots, they were to be respected in heaven, or they were to be rewarded in heaven, or
Mhm.
their classification of it. I mean, I'm not a religious man. I mean, I may say, "Oh God" or "Oh Lord," I may strike the person's name of me. To me, I'm a non-denominationist. I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in like if if religion was a store, and I'm talking about all religions like Christianity, Buddhism, uh, what are some of the other ones?
You're asking about other religions?
Like, what are some of the other religions? Like,
Judaism,
Judaism.
Hinduism,
Yeah,
Buddhism,
the
Protestantism.
yeah. You know, if religion was a store and they had like each of like the religions in a separate aisle, I would never go into that store because to me, it and coming from my background, you know, of me losing my mother, you know, to losing my mother to breast cancer, you know, that kind of put my whole thing into question. You know, why would a being of all power and all wisdom take away my mother? You know, why would he, or why would this being take away my mother? Why would
Ooh.
it take away from a child who is now mentally scarred? You know, it wasn't easy dealing with this. I can tell you that. You know, yeah, and even to something more recent of this year as my great grandfather passing. You know, we walked in to my grandparents' house, and I mean he was 90, so we knew it was going to happen soon, but we didn't realize it was going to be that soon. It was we. I remember it being really windy out that night, and we walked into the house, and there he was laying on the floor.
I'm sorry
Oh,
to hear that, man.
oh,
Yeah, I'm so sorry for your losses.
You know
gentlemen,
that
it
having someone significant die in your life is definitely, um, it's definitely heartbreaking.
yes,
But I mean, in a way, it also challenges you to, you know, pick yourself up after a hard beating. I mean, and it builds you as a person because it really does open up your eyes to how life really is. And
yes,
you know, nothing really lasts. Everything like death, it's inevitable. It's coming
yes,
for us, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. And I mean, when I see you or like whenever you talk, you're always in a happy mood, and you know, I props to you for that. You know, you're always so positive on life, and I think that's good. I mean, you muscle through everything, and it definitely does take a lot of courage. And as I said before, you know, most people would just give up at that stage and feel like all hope is lost.
yes.
But you know, you're
And I mean,
definitely different,
sorry,
and that's good.
yes, thank you very much. And the only reason I keep, you know, it, this happiness is just is to show you guys that there is some light at the end of the tunnel. You know, to show that it just isn't the end. You know, that you can stand up for your beliefs and that you won't get pushed around by these adults. But but my dear friends, I must say that we've been on this for about an hour.
Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness.
It's a record. We set a record.
Well, I don't think. Well,
I like this talk though. Like, not gonna lie, I kind of want this to keep going.
yes.
We could split it into two parts if you get
Oh,
too.
ooh, sounds like. Hey, give the you know. Hey, I think that sounds like a very good idea. Well, before we close out, I'd like to know if you gentlemen would like to say anything.
Well, about what? Just in general?
Just something just to say for the next part, or just to add any closing statements, and you know, like if there's anything you wanted to like if we would like to say something that we're going to talk about in part two, and just that you know just out of that, but if there's any closing statements or just things you want to add for part two.
Um, I guess a closing statement for me is, you know, uh, find out what makes you happy in general, and you definitely have to forget about society's norms. I mean, obviously you're gonna look like some fucking weirdo for doing something that you love, but
Yeah.
I mean, everyone tries to create this false illusion that what they're doing is good, and like what they're doing that is good in society's eyes is actually kind of like an illusion like that they're lying to themselves. Yeah, I mean, find what you enjoy doing and do what you want. And who cares about what other people say? I mean, if it's not their interest, so be it. As long as it makes you happy, just go ahead. Go for it.
Yes. Sammy, how about you?
God damn, Joe. You're gonna make my closing statement sound really awful right now. But all I gotta say is that I've I've had a blast on this podcast. I've just been chilling here, drinking my water, listening to you guys talk, uh, like sometimes contributing. But yeah, honestly, that's all I gotta say.
Well, Sammy, for part two, we'll hear a lot more of your voice. I will
All right,
say that.
cool.
But gentlemen,
So,
I do wish you have a good rest of your evening,
you
and
as
I
well,
want
man.
you to go down to your families, and I want you to say that, you know, to tell them that you love them, because that is the only thing we've got right now.
Yeah.
All right.
We've only got our we've only got our families, and that is just the one thing. And are we ready to close out, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. I'm going to stop all right. I'm going to stop the recording, but I just want everybody to say goodbye to the quote unquote audience that is going to be out there. Later, everybody.
See you guys.
Mwah.
Oh, Sammy, you're so cute. Bye, guys. Stay tuned for part two.